Let's be real for a minute. Military boots were not made for comfort. They were made to survive a war and destroy your feet in the process. Seriously though, if your lower body feels like it's been through a few deployments, well, because it has, then this one's for you. Because today, we're breaking down the top 5 conditions that you can blame on your military boots. And yes, you can get rated for them. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, because we're going to go through all of this together. First and foremost, boots were built for durability and not support. After years of rough marches, PT, inspections, and field ops, and that poor footwear, this has equaled long-term orthopedic issues. Many of these issues are rateable and can be service-connected, especially with documentation, buddy statements, and the like. I'm Mr. X. I'm a guy behind my guy giving you all the information you want to know and need to know about the VA claims process. This is the VA Top 5. All right, number 1, plantar fasciitis. So, that chronic foot pain from the pounding on the pavement and those flat boots. Now, plantar fasciitis generally affects your heel pain or even cammed arch. Okay, it's common among infantry, mechanics, anyone who stood on the concrete all day. Now, a couple things to consider when thinking about plantar fasciitis. Now, plantar fasciitis will be considered or rated with, or could be your other foot conditions, specifically like pes planus or flat feet. Generally, it's rated based on the frequency, the pain, and the functional loss, and whether or not you've had surgical or non-surgical treatment for plantar fasciitis, and whether that treatment relieved the pain or relieved the symptoms. Generally, I've seen it rated for about 10% for bilateral plantar fasciitis, and that has to do with pain. It can get up to a 30, but if you're service connected for pes planus as well, it could be up to 50. So, plantar fasciitis, number 1 issue amongst those, directly related to those military boots. Number 2 on the list, I already kind of hinted at it with number 1, that is flat feet or pes planus. Okay, military boots offered 0 arch support. It was even worse for those who entered service with normal arches, and the boots flattened them out over time. One thing to keep in mind as far as the VA goes and rating flat feet or pes planus, the key word is extreme tenderness of the plantar surfaces. So, if you have pes planus and you have that extreme tenderness in the plantar surface, your heels, that is the key to getting the highest evaluation possible. Another thing with flat feet and your military boots is even if you had it prior to service, now go back and look at your service enlistment exam, because it will show whether or not you had pes planus and whether it was symptomatic, asymptomatic, and sometimes it'll show whether it was mild, moderate, or even severe. So, even if you had a diagnosis of flat feet before service, you can claim aggravation of that due to the boots, the military service, the rough marches, all of the above. So, just because the condition existed prior to service doesn't mean you cannot get service connected for it. Blame it on an aggravation basis. I've seen many, many times where a veteran will be service connected based on aggravation, and they can get up to a 50% evaluation. As I mentioned with plantar fasciitis, if the conditions are both going to be rated, then they're going to be service connected together. So you won't get 2 separate evaluations, which is kind of a bummer. But if you're doing a 50% evaluation for your feet, that's a pretty good start to getting to that 100 club. All right, number 3, shin splints. This can also be known as medial tibial stress syndrome, or MTSS. So if you're looking through your treatment record, service treatment records, look for all of the above, Shin Splints and MTSS. Okay? So due to all of the repetitive motions, the ruck marches, all of that plus the rigid boots, this can equal the shin pain. This is a chronic condition, can also lead to stress fractures. It's often overlooked, but if documented during service or post-discharge, it is rateable. If you get to a 30% evaluation just for shin splints, keep in mind though, for that 30% evaluation, and I'm reading right off the VA rating schedule, it says, requiring treatment for no less than 12 consecutive months and unresponsive to surgery and either shoe orthotics or other conservative treatment of both lower extremities. Now that can give you 30% evaluation. Generally, I see it at as 0, which kind of doesn't help you a whole lot. But shin splints, when also considered, if it's painful motion, it could be a 10. If you're service-connected for an ankle or a knee on that same left leg or right leg, shin splints may just be wrapped up right into that. It might be separate. It really just depends on what all the medical evidence says. Now, I'd bring it up because it is something that could get you closer to that 100 club, because if you're not service-connected for a knee or an ankle, okay, then that pain from the shin splints can affect your ankle disability, or if you applied for an ankle disability, it could affect that. It could affect your knee. It's kind of all-encompassing. So it's one more condition that generally you put in for, and it may be combined, it may not, but it overall paints a bigger picture for the examiner of the damage of these boots have done to your lower extremities. Number 4, knee arthritis. Now, you could put it down as knee strain, knee pain, and sometimes the arthritis, whether that's degenerative arthritis, osteoarthritis, all kind of the same thing. Essentially, these poor foot mechanics, because of your boots, can often put strain on your knee. With long marches, rigid movements, and boots that aren't comfortable and don't have sole, don't support your foot, they cause that wear and tear in your knee joints. This is one of those things that it could be easily declined or secondary to foot or ankle problems, as I've described somewhat in this video, but a lot in previous videos, that all of these, all of the major joints of your lower extremities, your feet, ankles, knees, back, hips, could all be related to other conditions of the lower extremity. Knee could be related to your feet. Feet could be related to your back. Back to your knee. Knee to hip. Hip to ankle. It just depends on what you're currently service connected for and what current symptoms you have, or what other diagnoses you have that could be related. So knee arthritis, absolutely, I've seen it as due to feet issues, which are due to boots. Lastly, number 5, lower back pain. Absolutely can be due to your military boots. Bad boots equals bad posture. Long-term misalignment leads to disc issues in your low back, which can often lead to sciatica or other chronic lumbar pain. It's often a chain reaction of sorts from your foot knee problems, and that translates to your back. The VA commonly recognizes that all of these conditions could be related. And if you have service connected for your feet, the plantar fasciitis for pes planus, and you also have back issues, then that could be secondary to your feet. Then if you have radiculopathy or sciatica or other nerve involvement related to your lower back, then that one condition, your low feet, could then snowball into 4, 5, 8 different conditions depending on what correct symptoms and diagnoses you have, and how the VA examiner kind of relates all of these conditions together. But absolutely, lower back pain could be due to those bad military boots. Now, lad, if you've stuck with me thus far, it's number 6. And if you're one of my longtime viewers, you might already kind of know where this is going. So, the boots have caused issue with your feet. Feet can also be easily relatable to your ankles, knees, hips, back. As you can see here, I had to mention ankles, I had to mention hips. Both of those can yield additional compensable evaluations. While it's not pretty, while those ones may not give you a 50% evaluation for your hip, okay? But all of those 10s and 20s, they go to add up to get you closer to that 100 club. Get enough of them, you're going to get there. Now, a couple things about this. A couple filing tips. Use your service tree records. If you're seeing a service for your foot, knee, back, ankle, hip conditions, put it in there. Consider getting, buddy statements from individuals that you serve with. Okay, get a nexus letter from a podiatrist or an orthopedist if you have seen one, and I would say probably the previous 5 years. Get one from them. All of this information, when added up, helps you get closer to that 100 club. Okay. In the end, your boots weren't just uncomfortable. They're causing long-term damage. That damage, you should be compensated for it. Now, what's the worst thing that your military boots did to you? Drop it in the comments. Let me know what it did. Once again, please like, subscribe, leave a comment about what you thought or what you would like us to address in the future. I'm Mr. X. This is the VA Top 5.